Okay, when we come back, our video pick is inspired by a birthday for the most famous computer in the movies. Our video pick this week focuses on one of the greatest films of all time, Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey. Now, from March the 10th to 15th, the University of Illinois at Urbana will hold a Cyberfest to celebrate one of the movie's key anniversaries. Hal's birthday is an occasion for a week-long festival devoted to 2001 and the subject of artificial intelligence. To prepare for Cyberfest, I called Arthur C. Clarke, the author of the original story and screenplay, at his home in Sri Lanka.
Well, you know, 2001 is certainly the best science fiction movie ever made, and as you probably know, it was voted one of the greatest 10 films of all time in that poll that's taken every 10 years by Sight and Sound magazine in London. It's considered one of the top 10 films of all time, but so many other science fiction films have not followed that lead. There has not been a film since 2001 with the same kind of vision or ambition.
Of course, 2001 killed science fiction films for about a decade, until the technology caught up with it, and then we had, Star Wars and so forth, which are, I guess space westerns. Great fun. I enjoy them. But you're perhaps right in saying that no one has ever attempted to follow the lead created by 2001.
The whole third act of 2001 is such a visionary leap into the unknown. How did you get away with that, you and Kubrick, in making a film with an ending that is so poetic and provocative and unconventional?
Stanley deserves all the credit for that. I just gave him some ideas and inputs, and the credit goes to Stanley and his amazing special effects team led by Douglas Trumbull and Wally Beavers.
The Star Child, the last shot in the film as the Star Child, or at least 2001 fans now call it the Star Child. I don't know if that was really what you called it, but the Star Child turns and looks at the audience. What is the Star Child asking is, and how can we respond?
I would say that the implication is that the future is wide open. It's up to us what we do about it. Our destiny is, at least to some extent, under our own control. But of course, at the time, a lot of people didn't get it. And one of the remarks I remember hearing after the premiere was from a senior MGM executive saying despairingly, well, that's the end of Stanley Kubrick.
But it sure wasn't. The original reviews were generally negative, but audiences came and stayed, and today, 2001, A Space Odyssey is seen more than ever as one of the great visionary films of modern time. It's on tape and disc. It's our video pick of the week. And in Urbana this Thursday, I'll be showing it and talking about it. And Friday night, I'll be hosting Hal's birthday gala, which will be live on the internet.
I went out into left field, so to speak, for my favorite villain, out into space, actually, for the most surprising villain I've ever seen in a motion picture. Let's just start the movie, and I'll let you discover the villain the fabulous way we all did some 27 years ago. Yes, it's the power-mad HAL 9000 computer in Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey, here eavesdropping on astronauts Keir DeLay and Gary Lockwood. Eventually, DeLay tries to dismantle HAL over the machine's protests. What's the real evil in HAL? No, not the computer chip. It's the impulse to control others, the people that built the computer, the root cause, I think, of so much of the evil in the world. Unlike most every villain in the movies, even the great ones, Hal wasn't introduced to us as a bad guy. He just shocked us in a way that none of us will ever forget.
And I remember that so clearly, Gene, when I was watching the movie. I thought, oh my God, Hal is not on their side.
Unbelievable.
He's mad because they want to run the space station.
And isn't it true, Roger, that the idea to control is really, if you come down to it, it's the evil person makes the judgment, I have the right to control you.
But those were debates about the meaning of the film. The film that exploded my mind about what a film could be came a year after college, in 1968, Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey. In terms of sound and images and story construction, this film is a groundbreaker. I treasure two moments. First, the end of the key opening sequence, the Dawn of Man sequence, when the apes discover that a bone is a tool that can have many uses. That's a great political and sociological statement done in a classic visual. And for sheer drama, who can forget the film's final shot before the intermission? That's how the film was first shown, with an intermission. When we find out before the American astronauts do that the HAL 9000 computer can think for itself and is eavesdropping on their conversation about it. I think the film embodies the essence of Stanley Kubrick's films, all of them, the duality of man for creation and for destruction. And you can see it in A Clockwork Orange, going farther back, Paths of Glory, most recently in his Vietnam film, Full Metal Jacket. And when I saw 2001 in 1968, well, it didn't make me want to be a movie critic. I was thinking of being a lawyer at the time. But it certainly opened my eyes to the potential of film as film.
And you know, the problem is just looking at those scenes again right now.
Yes.
20 years later, there are no directors working with that kind of vision, not even Kubrick, really. Nobody who wants to redefine what a movie is and redefine what a movie can do. All of the so-called giants in Hollywood today are so trapped in narrative, you'd think they were back in the 30s or the 40s again. Tell a story. Get the right star. Get the right chemistry between two stars. There are no stars in this movie, and there's no chemistry. There's just such an enormous vision that when you sit there, you're just transfixed as you look up at the screen.
I want to tell you a sad story. I was once asked, what movie prop would I most like to have? I said, the monolith in 2001. I talked to Stanley Kubrick about getting it. You know what he told me?
What?
Doesn't exist. MGM in London threw it away for storage space. None of the props. All gone.
It really is too bad because Ted Turner owns MGM now, so if he had the monolith, he could probably colorize it pink and use it as a desk.